Hi everyone, I'm Lucy, and today we're about to embark on an exciting flying adventure. We'll follow a journey through the airport, starting from checking in our bags, going through security, grabbing some tasty snacks, and finally boarding the plane. Along the way, you'll hear practical phrases that will come in handy the next time you're off on a flight. Whether you're a travel enthusiast or just curious about what happens at the airport, this conversation is full of fun moments. So fasten your seatbelts and let's dive in.
Mia, we're finally at the airport. Are you ready for our adventure to Hawaii?
Absolutely, Dad. I can't wait to see the beaches and try surfing. Do you think we'll have enough time to do everything we planned?
We'll make it work, Mia. But first, let's get our bags checked in. Follow me to the check-in counter.
Good morning. Welcome. Could I see your tickets and ID, please?
We actually need to pick up our tickets here. Could you help us?
Of course. Let me look up your reservation. Found it. Are you checking in any luggage today?
Yes, just these 2 suitcases.
All right, let me check those in for you. And let me see. It looks like you're in seats 18B and 18C.
Is it possible to get a window seat? Maybe closer to the front?
Let me check. Great news. I can move you to seats 6A and 6B, closer to the front and with a window. You're all set. Here are your boarding passes. Your gate is number 12 and security is just ahead.
Yay, a window seat is the best. Thanks so much, Dad, and thank you, Linda.
Thanks a lot, Linda.
My pleasure. Have an amazing trip.
Dad, do we have to take our shoes off at security again? I remember it took a while last time.
Yes, Mia. I know it's a bit of a hassle, but it's for everyone's safety. It'll be quick, I promise. Just put everything in the trays and we'll be through in no time.
Good morning. Please place all bags, electronic devices, and any metal items in the trays. Also, remember to remove your shoes and jackets. When you're ready, step through the scanner.
All right, Mia. Let's get everything in the trays.
Got it, Dad. Here we go.
Great job, Mia. Now let's grab our stuff and head to the gate.
Dad, can we grab some snacks before heading to the gate? I'm a bit hungry.
Of course, Mia. Let's see. There's a cafe over there. How about a muffin and some juice?
Sounds perfect. Can I get a blueberry muffin?
Absolutely. We'll have 1 blueberry muffin, 1 chocolate chip muffin, and 2 orange juices, please.
Here you go. That'll be $15, please.
Here you go. Thank you.
This muffin is delicious. Thanks, Dad.
You're welcome, sweetheart. Let's finish up and head to our gate so we don't miss boarding.
Right. What gate are we again?
Gate 12. It should be just down this hallway.
I see it. Gate 12. There are already people waiting.
Looks like we have about 20 minutes left. Let's sit for a bit until they start boarding.
Attention passengers on Flight 234 to Honolulu. We are now boarding Group A. Please have your boarding passes ready.
Dad, should we get in line now?
Not yet, Mia. We're in Group B, so let's wait until they call us.
Got it. I hope we get a good view during takeoff.
I'm sure we will. Just be patient, and soon enough we'll be flying above the clouds.
Now boarding Group B for Flight 234 to Honolulu.
That's us, Mia. Let's grab our things and get in line.
May I see your boarding passes, please?
Here you go. Thank you.
Thank you. Enjoy your flight.
Thank you.
Good morning. Welcome aboard. Can I help you find your seats?
No, I think we're good. We're in 6A and 6B.
Great. If you need anything, just let me know.
Dad, look! The plane is so big from here. I wonder how high we'll be flying.
We'll be flying really high, Mia, above the clouds. You'll see the sky in a whole new way. Let's get our bags in the overhead bin, and then we can settle in.
Okay, all set. I can't wait for takeoff.
Please make sure your seatbelts are fastened. Enjoy the flight.
All right, Mia. Seatbelt on and get ready for an amazing view.
Ready, Dad. Hawaii, here we come.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your flight attendant, Sarah. The captain has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign as we prepare for takeoff. Please make sure your seatbelts are securely fastened and all electronic devices are either turned off or in airplane mode.
Dad, it's happening. We're taking off.
I know, Mia. Look out the window. You can see the ground getting smaller.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached cruising altitude. You may now unfasten your seatbelts if you wish, but please keep them fastened while seated. We will be coming around with refreshments shortly.
Dad, can we get something to drink? I hope they have apple juice.
I'm sure they will, Mia. Let's wait for the flight attendants to come by.
Good afternoon. Would you like something to drink?
Hi, could we have an apple juice for Mia and a coffee for me, please?
Of course. Here you go. Enjoy.
Thanks. I love apple juice.
I'm glad you're enjoying it. Remember, we still have a long way to go, so just relax and enjoy the flight.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are beginning our descent into Honolulu. Please make sure your seatbelts are fastened and your seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position. We'll also be collecting any remaining trash or items you no longer need.
Dad, look! I can see the ocean and some islands.
That's Hawaii, Mia. We're almost there. Look at how blue the water is. It's incredible.
It's even more beautiful than I imagined. I can't wait to get there.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we prepare for landing, please ensure all carry-on items are securely stowed either in the overhead bins or under the seat in front of you. We expect to land in about 15 minutes. Thank you for flying with us today. On behalf of the entire crew, we'd like to thank you for flying with us today. We hope you had a pleasant journey, and we look forward to seeing you again on future flights. Welcome to Honolulu and have a wonderful stay.
Mia, let's get everything stowed properly. We're almost ready to touch down.
Got it, Dad. I'm so excited.
Me too, Mia. In just a few minutes, we'll be landing in paradise.
I can't wait!
Hello, everyone. I'm Lucy, your English teacher, and today we're going to dive into some useful words and phrases based on a conversation between George and Mia as they embark on a trip to Hawaii. In the dialogue, they go through several steps at the airport, from check-in to boarding and flying. They even grab snacks before getting on the plane. There's a lot of useful travel vocabulary in this conversation, so let's explore some of it together. Let's start with something delicious. In the conversation, George and Mia stopped by a cafe to get a snack. Remember what Mia ordered? Can I get a blueberry muffin? Muffin. Muffin. A muffin is a small, round cake that's typically sweet. You can find muffins in different flavors like blueberry, chocolate chip, or banana. For example, I had a muffin for breakfast this morning. Or, she baked some delicious apple muffins last night. Muffins are great for a quick snack, especially when you're on the go, just like Mia and George at the airport. You'll often find them in cafes and bakeries, and they can be sweet or savory, depending on what ingredients are used. They're a favorite among kids and adults alike. Did you know that muffins actually come in different styles? There's the American version, which is soft and fluffy, and the English version, which is more like bread and is often toasted. In fact, English muffins are typically eaten with butter and jam. If you ever travel, you might notice different muffin types depending on where you are in the world. And of course, blueberry muffins are one of the most popular kinds. Next up, let's talk about what you need before boarding a plane. George received his tickets from the agent, and she also gave him something else very important. Can you guess what it was? Here are your boarding passes. Boarding pass. Boarding pass. A boarding pass is a piece of paper or a digital ticket that allows you to get on the airplane. Without it, you won't be able to board the flight. For instance, don't forget to print your boarding pass before you arrive at the airport. Or, you can now use a digital boarding pass on your phone. Every time you fly, make sure you have your boarding pass with you. Most airlines offer digital passes now, so you can just show your phone instead of carrying paper tickets. It's a simple but essential part of any flight. When boarding passes were first introduced, they were simple pieces of paper. Over the years, they've evolved into digital versions, making travel a lot more convenient. Can you imagine how many paper passes are saved with digital ones now? You can even store them in your phone's wallet app for easy access. Next time you travel, try using a digital boarding pass to see how quick it makes your check-in experience. Now, let's talk about something important for your safety during the flight. When Sarah, the flight attendant, gave the safety instructions, she mentioned a key word related to your seatbelt. Please make sure your seatbelts are fastened. Fasten. Fasten. Fasten means to secure or attach something, like a seatbelt. You always want to fasten your seatbelt when you're in a car or on a plane. For example, please fasten your seatbelt before we start driving. Or, he fastened the strap of his backpack tightly before hiking. In travel, fasten is most commonly used when talking about seatbelts. It's a word you'll hear a lot when you fly, especially before takeoff and landing. Did you know that fasten can also be used in other situations, like fastening a button or fastening a strap on your bag? It's a very useful word for anything that needs to be securely closed or attached. On an airplane, fastening your seatbelt is one of the first things you do to stay safe. Pilots and flight attendants always remind passengers to keep their seatbelts fastened, especially during turbulence or bad weather. Another fun word from the conversation is when Mia asked George, "Do you think we'll have enough time to do everything we planned?" And George answered, "We'll make it work." Make it work. Make it work. Make it work is a common phrase that means to find a way to succeed, even if the situation is challenging. It's a phrase people use when they want to solve problems or deal with tough situations. You might hear it like this: even though we had little time, we made it work and finished the project on time. Or, she didn't have all the ingredients, but she made it work and cooked a great meal. It's a great phrase to use when you're determined to find a solution, even if things aren't perfect. I love how positive this phrase is. It encourages people to keep going, even when things get tricky. When you make it work, you show your creativity and problem-solving skills. It's something we all do in everyday life, whether it's organizing a trip, finishing homework, or managing time. Remember, even if things don't go as planned, you can always try to make it work. Let's now look at a phrase used when you're getting ready to board a plane. Mia was excited and asked George if they should get in line. "Dad, should we get in line now?" Get in line. Get in line. Get in line means to stand in a queue, waiting for your turn. We use this phrase when we are at places like the airport, a cafe, or a store. For instance, you need to get in line to buy tickets for the concert. Or, we got in line for the roller coaster, but it was a long wait. So, anytime you're waiting for your turn with other people, you'll get in line. It's a common phrase, especially in places where you need to wait. Getting in line can sometimes be frustrating, especially when it's a long line, but it's an important part of everyday life. At airports, train stations, and amusement parks, people usually form lines to keep things organized. Waiting in line might seem boring, but it's a good opportunity to chat with friends or listen to music. Just make sure you don't lose your spot. Let's look at the exciting moment when the plane is leaving the ground. Mia was thrilled as the plane began to lift off. "Dad, it's happening. We're taking off." Take off. Take off. Take off is a phrasal verb that means when an airplane leaves the ground and starts flying. It's an important moment in any flight. For example, the plane took off at 3 p.m. and landed at 6 p.m. Or, I love watching planes take off at the airport. So, every time you're flying, the most exciting part is when the plane takes off into the sky. The moment a plane takes off is one of the most exciting parts of traveling. For some people, it might feel a little scary, but for others, it's thrilling. Did you know that pilots have to check a lot of things before the plane can take off, like weather conditions and the runway? Next time you fly, look out the window and see how the world looks smaller as the plane lifts off. Next, let's talk about something that helps everyone stay connected on board while keeping the flight safe. Remember when Sarah, the flight attendant, mentioned airplane mode? Please make sure all electronic devices are either turned off or in airplane mode. Airplane mode. Airplane mode. Airplane mode is a setting on your phone or tablet that turns off wireless signals like Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, while still letting you use other functions. You'll hear this a lot when flying. For instance, please put your phone in airplane mode before takeoff. Or, I forgot to turn on airplane mode during my flight, but the flight attendant reminded me. Using airplane mode keeps the plane systems free from interference, which is why it's required during takeoff and landing. Airplane mode isn't just useful on flights. You can also use it when you want to save battery life or avoid distractions while studying or working. It's great when you need some quiet time without notifications interrupting you. And don't worry, you can still use apps that don't need internet, like listening to music or playing games. So, next time you fly, just switch your phone to airplane mode and relax. Now let's talk about the people who make sure our flight is safe and comfortable. Sarah, the flight attendant, was part of the plane's crew. Let's look at this part of the conversation. On behalf of the entire crew, we'd like to thank you for flying with us today. Crew. Crew. The crew refers to all the people who work on a plane, including the pilots and flight attendants. They help with everything from flying the plane to serving food and drinks. For example, the flight crew made sure everyone was comfortable during the trip. Or, the pilot and the crew welcomed us on board with a smile. The crew plays a vital role in ensuring that the flight is smooth and safe for passengers. Have you ever thought about how much work the crew does behind the scenes? They don't just serve snacks and drinks. They also handle emergencies, keep everyone safe, and manage any problems that come up during the flight. Pilots, flight attendants, and even the engineers on the ground are part of the crew. Without them, flying wouldn't be possible. Next time you fly, take a moment to appreciate all the work they do for us. Now, let's talk about the word hassle. Mia was wondering about the security process, and George said, "Yes, Mia, I know it's a bit of a hassle, but it's for everyone's safety." Hassle. Hassle. A hassle refers to something that's a bit annoying or takes extra effort. In the conversation, George is explaining that going through security might be inconvenient, but it's necessary. For example, "It's such a hassle to pack all my things for the trip." Or, "Filling out this paperwork is always such a hassle." The word is often used to describe tasks or situations that take extra time or effort, but are unavoidable. Hassle is a word we use a lot in everyday life. It can describe small things like waiting in line or filling out forms, or bigger challenges like planning a big event. Even though some things are a hassle, they're often worth it in the end. Security checks at the airport might seem like a hassle, but they're important for everyone's safety. Remember, just because something is a hassle doesn't mean it's not necessary. Now let's look at the word refreshment. This is something Sarah, the flight attendant, mentioned. We will be coming around with refreshments shortly. Refreshment. Refreshment. A refreshment refers to drinks or light snacks that are provided, usually during an event or on a flight. For example, they served refreshments during the meeting. Or, we had tea and refreshments at the afternoon party. It's a polite word used when offering or serving something light to eat or drink. Refreshments are a nice way to make people feel welcome, whether at a meeting, a party, or on a flight. The word makes it sound light and pleasant, something that will refresh you. On long flights, flight attendants will bring refreshments like juice, water, or small snacks. Even in offices, it's common to offer refreshments during meetings to keep everyone comfortable. So next time you hear the word, think of something nice and refreshing to enjoy. Another word from the conversation is descent. Sarah, the flight attendant, said, "We are beginning our descent into Honolulu." Descent. Descent. Descent is the process of going down or decreasing in height, especially when talking about a plane. For example, the plane began its descent into the city. Or, during the descent, you can feel the pressure change in your ears. It's a term used to describe the final part of the flight when the plane is coming down to land. The descent is often a part of the flight where passengers start feeling excited to arrive at their destination. It's also the time when you feel changes in air pressure, which can cause your ears to pop. Pilots have to carefully control the descent to make sure the landing is smooth. If you're sitting near the window, the descent gives you the perfect view of the landscape as the plane comes in for landing. Now let's talk about another place George and Mia visited at the airport, the cafe. Remember when George said, there's a cafe over there. How about a muffin and some juice? Cafe. Cafe. A cafe is a small restaurant where you can buy drinks and simple meals like sandwiches or pastries. For example, we had coffee at a cafe by the river. Or, there's a new cafe downtown where they serve great muffins. Cafes are often relaxed places where you can sit and enjoy a snack or a drink. Cafes are one of my favorite places to relax and enjoy a good snack or drink. They're usually cozy and a perfect spot to meet friends or read a book. You'll find cafes almost everywhere, at airports, in cities, or in small towns. Next time you visit a cafe, try to explore their different snack options, like muffins, croissants, or sandwiches. They're perfect for a quick bite. Then, let's look at the polite phrase, "my pleasure." Linda, the check-in agent, used it after helping George and Mia. My pleasure. My pleasure. My pleasure. My pleasure is a polite way of saying you're welcome when someone thanks you. For example, thank you for your help. My pleasure. Or, it was my pleasure to assist you. This phrase is often used in customer service to express that someone is happy to help. My pleasure is a great way to show kindness when someone thanks you. It sounds more formal than you're welcome and is often used in professional settings. You'll hear it a lot at restaurants, hotels, and shops. It's a phrase that makes people feel appreciated and valued for their gratitude. Try using it next time someone thanks you. It's a wonderful way to keep interactions polite and friendly. Let's now talk about the phrase, come by. Mia asked George if they could get something to drink, and Sarah, the flight attendant, said, we will be coming by with refreshments shortly. Come by. Come by. Come by means to visit or pass by a place. In this case, it refers to the flight attendants walking by the seats to offer refreshments. For example, you should come by my house sometime for dinner. Or, the postman came by earlier to drop off a package. It's a casual way to talk about visiting or passing by. Come by is a very friendly and casual phrase, often used when inviting someone or talking about stopping by somewhere. It's also common in casual conversations to suggest dropping by a friend's house or a shop. The phrase is easy to use, and it keeps the conversation light and informal. So next time you want to visit a friend or have someone visit you, you can say, hey, why don't you come by later? Today, we've explored some really cool words and phrases that you can sprinkle into your daily conversations, like boarding pass when you're at the airport, muffin when you're grabbing a snack, and make it work when things don't go as planned, but you find a solution anyway. I hope these examples not only helped you understand how to use them, but also inspired you to try them out in real life. Maybe next time you're at a cafe, you'll confidently order your favorite muffin with a smile. Remember, language is all about practice, so don't be afraid to have fun with it. If you've got any questions, feel free to reach out, leave a comment, or share your own examples. I'm always excited to hear from you. Keep up the great work, stay curious, and I'll see you in our next adventure of learning. Have an awesome day, everyone.